brush and vines of a forest, and you come to a relatively open clearing. Roll a perception check.
3.
You step on a hidden tripwire, and an entire tree falls on you. You're killed immediately.
Do I hear it is the real question.
That's a good question.
Probably not with a 3 perception.
Welcome to Threshold Moonlight. My name is Matt, and I will be the dungeon master for our adventure here.
My name is Tom, and I will be playing the main character.
We're back for episode 2. Do you want to recap what happened last time for our wonderful listeners? Thomas?
Our main character is Duoborus Crescere Une, who I'm going to call Cress 90% of the time.
I'm going to call him Cress 100% of the time.
Okay, so this wood elf, he grew up in our last episode. So we just took him from childhood to adulthood. He fell in love, his wife's missing, and he got a mysterious message of what he's got to do to go find her. So that's where we're starting this time.
Yep. So you're in, we're going to jump right in here. Back to where we left off. You are in the jungles around your hometown of Galm. You've just woken from, like, a crazy dream about a huge thunderstorm, and this, like, light being has just given you a message saying you got to stop the crew or pretend to you. And your marriage tree has started to bloom again on your missing wife's side. So, take it away, Cress.
Okay, so Cress is still in that clearing, and he's with his tree. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and he is going to roll an Arcana check to try and figure out if he knows anything. He's got these feelings, you know, but he rolls 4.
So despite the fact that you're super, super bad at magic, apparently, even just looking around and spending just a second trying to notice what's going on, the immense power that surrounds you, though she's gone, it feels like it's still super bright in the clearing, and you just know that was Lunam, the moon goddess, returned to the world and delivered. She's delivered a message straight to you. And it's carried some sort of power along with it. And you're a powerful druid now.
Okay.
With a mission from God.
I'm going. Okay. So Cress has been depressed for 46 years, basically.
Yeah.
And he's been in the jungle most of the time.
Pretty much.
And he's emerging from the jungle. He's going to town.
Okay. So this is like one of the first times in the last couple years, or because
I'd say in like 10 years. Like this is one of the first times he's coming out and actually like.
Now, has like a grill or Pin or anyone come to try and find you in the woods or interacted with you at all? Or have you just been solitude, like totally alone?
I think the first 36 years or so, yeah, like my parents would come by and I would return more. The last 10 years, almost nothing.
So cool. They haven't seen you in 10 years.
Yeah.
No one has seen you in 10 years.
And I think I'm like 277. So
yeah, I screwed up some dates last episode. It's fine. We'll retcon it on the wiki. No
worries. The wiki is official until I change it.
Yeah.
Official and able to be edited. So I'm kind of a young elf, but I don't look it. I've got a beard. I've got long hair. I'm covered in dirt and leaves and twigs. I almost look like a walking like hunk of tree/dirt.
Perfect.
And I got tons of stuff on my back. I've got a staff. Do you want me to tell everyone about the staff?
Sure. It's a pretty important part of your character.
So I have a really bitchin' staff. I have
totally bitchin'. It actually says bitchin' on the handle. No, it doesn't.
My staff has been my companion for these last like 46 years, and even before that. But I've really grown attached to it. It was a gift from my wife at the end of our marriage ceremony. She grew it herself. It's a living tree, basically, that she has enchanted. So it's just
it's made of living wood. The tree, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm holding it. And it's got special Everbloom flowers on it that are all different colors, and it's really, really gnarled. So like it is it's a strange shape, so I kind of hook it on my shoulder. I have like a way to carry it on my back, so it looks like it's patting me on the back.
We've got a picture of this on the
yeah,
wiki.
everything will be on the wiki.
We can maybe link those things straight in the description here so people can get a good idea. It's like we came up with this idea for this staff together, and I was like, this is totally badass. It's super awesome.
Yeah. So the staff's a big part of him. He carries it at all times.
That's your druidic focus, yes?
It is, yeah. For gameplay mechanic-wise, it's a druidic focus, so it lets me cast spells. Say I don't have any sumac leaf on me. The staff's going to help me out.
There you go.
So I've named the staff Tacit because I talk to it all the time in the forest and when I'm in the quiet and everything. So, Wilson,
you are Tom Hanks from Castaway.
I am. I'm also, that's one of my titles. I'm known as Wolfmaster and Tom Hanks from Castaway. No one really knows what that means, but they call me it anyway.
This doesn't exist in Threshold.
So yeah, I emerge. I got my staff on my back. I've got backpacks. I've got like meat hanging off bones. I'm just this strange,
crazy,
hermit. Yeah, and I'm coming out. If you guys want to know like character stuff, background's hermit, obviously. Terra Totem elves are wood elves, so it's all. I have a character sheet that actually follows the rules. Rules somewhat.
We made some exceptions here and there. So, since you're solo.
Yeah, so then, so I'm emerging into the village of Galn.
Okay, where are you gonna go?
I am gonna go to my house at first.
Okay,
and it's kind of dilapidated. It's
absolutely the large wooden door kind of like hangs on the hinges, but it needs some repairs. You swing it open, and dust just goes scattering everywhere. Your footprints in the dust on the floor as you walk around. And no one's been in there for years.
Yeah, it's clear that some animals have kind of like rats have been here or whatever, and like there's everything's covered in dust, and I'm not really sure why I came here. I just kind of look around, and then I move on, going further into town.
Okay, cool. Where are you going now?
I think I'm gonna go. Do you know what time of day it is? I'm doing this?
Well, you were sleeping and it was nighttime, so we'll say that we don't know how far into the woods you were necessarily, so maybe you could say it was as early as dawn. People are starting to get up.
Okay. So I am going to try to intercept my father on his way to temple.
Okay.
So my father's a cleric in the town, and he goes to temple very regularly. And
each morning heads there and sees
does cleric stuff. Yep. And so I'm gonna try and find him. And
so the temple is adjacent to the main the square in the middle of town. It's one of the largest buildings in the town. And as you walk down the main road heading towards this structure, you see your father several paces in front of you, walking away from you towards the temple.
Okay, so I hurry up and I tap him on the shoulder. And
okay, so he turns around. He looks up at you. He kind of takes a few steps back, like kind of grossed out. He doesn't really know. He thinks that you're like might be some sort of like forest monster, jungle monster or something.
It's kind of what I look like.
And then he like leans his face forward and squints. Cress. And he falls to a knee on the dirt road, and he kind of brings his hand up to his mouth, astonished and like totally surprised.
So I pick him up and I go, I think I need to leave.
We were so worried. Are you all right? Where have you been?
I've been in the jungle, where I feel some semblance of peace.
What happened to you was terrible, Cress, but you should come home. You should be with your family.
Father, you have to understand, something has happened. I don't really know.
You're home. That's all that's important.
No, I have to go. I
don't understand. What are you saying?
I think Lunam appeared to me. I look him in the eyes.
He pauses for a second, eyes like the size of dinner plates. Being a cleric, Lunam is like, they're like tight. He's devoted to her, and like, you know, she's been gone, but like, yeah. So he's gonna roll insight to see if he like believes you. Okay. He looks deep into your eyes, and he totally just trusts what you said to him, and he's like,
she told me
Lunam has returned.
She told me I have to go. I have
Go
things
where?
I'm not sure
for
yet.
For what? What does she look like?
It's not important. Nidore's out there somewhere. She told me. She told me I have to go find, I don't even remember, the Crescere Potentia. I have to go do something. I have to stop something. Something bad is going to happen. I can feel it.
He takes everything you're saying in. Just doesn't. After you've kind of just barreled through, he's silent, totally dumbstruck. And the second that you said Crescere Potentia, he roll a perception check.
14.
You don't notice anything as he says this, but he made a slight facial gesture. You're not really sure what it means.
It's good because I'm as a out of character. I have no idea.
Good. So he totally believes everything you're saying, and as you, I assume, are you walking anywhere while you're talking to him, or you just stopped in the middle of the...
I think we were kind of going still towards the temple, but I
think maybe he's probably redirected you, actually,
okay, towards
your mother's flower shop.
Good.
So that's in the same direction, but he walks past the temple and brings you to just outside the flower shop, and as the two of you walk up, your mother immediately runs out. She recognizes you immediately, despite your unkempt appearance. And as she walks out of her flower shop, she pauses, wordlessly looks at you, and then runs over and hugs you immediately, and does not seem affected by whatever foul smells may be occupying your immediate personal area. She says, "Cress, you're back."
Sorry, I was thinking of a side quest where I take a bath.
100,000 gold pieces, thank God.
Okay, I'm back.
So, your family is out in the street in front of the flower shop, and your parents are super excited.
I'm just kind of wistfully staring at the flower shop because Nidore used to work there, and I'm just kind of
okay. As you're silently standing there, staring, lost off in the distance, your father, he fills your mother in on, he's back. Lunam appeared to him. He has to stop something terrible. He pauses before he says anything, and he roll a perception check again. What's your passive perception, so that I know?
Passive perception's 13, and I got a 22 on the active perception check.
Okay, what's your AC?
15.
15. Okay. And spell
is he
save
gonna
DC
punch me?
Your spell save DC is 13.
Yeah. My dad's not gonna punch me, is he? Is
that
no?
I should have gotten all these stats ahead of time. Sorry. These are just things I like to know.
I noticed something about my
attacks.
dad, and then my dad takes a swing,
and then he punches you square in the mouth. So as he's saying this, he has to stop. And he pauses and he carefully considers his words, and says, "You can tell that he's about to say something else, but then he just says something terrible." And Lunam has told him Nidore is alive, and he's going to find her. And your mother does not hesitate at all. She doesn't blink, doesn't bat an eye at all. Any of this, none of it phases her. She totally just is like, you must do what you must do. She's always just kind of supported you in whatever you did, so this is no exception to that.
And I mean, Crescere's. Once he's doing something, he just goes at it. So I want to leave within like an hour. So I'm like, Mom, Dad, I need help. Just give me what you can, knowledge, and I'm gonna be on my way.
Your mother turns immediately on her heels, heads back into her flower shop. She's rooting around all of the shelves, pulling down random sticks and flower petals and other material components that would be useful for you as a druid. She throws them all into a bag. While she's doing this, your father reaches into his pouch and he pulls out a small totem. Do you want to describe it? We talked. You told me what this was, and I've decided what it's going to be.
I have no idea what it does, but
right.
It is a leaf made out of water droplets. Now, what were the cool magnetic balls you saw?
Buckyballs, I think.
Buckyballs. Okay, so it looks like it's made out. It looks like a leaf made out of buckyballs, except those are water.
Right. So it's like they're magnetic. They stay together. They don't. You can drop it and they retain their shape and they don't, splatter everywhere.
Well, like I feel like when you drop it, it does splash, but then it just reforms itself.
The balls break apart.
Yeah,
maybe?
and then they reform almost immediately, and it's
Great.
Got some crazy magic going on, and I have no idea. And he just pulls it out of his strange pack.
It's in like a leather pouch or so, and he pulls it out and hands the whole thing to you. Do you take the leather pouch or just the?
I'll just put it in one of my like fur pouches.
Okay. Great. And then your mother comes out of her shop with a big bag full of just all sorts of cool stuff, material components and whatnot. In addition to, she hands you the bag and then she reaches in your father's pouch, and he kind of says, "What?" And she pulls out four healing potions. And he reaches out to protest. The healing potions are not the easiest thing to come by in this part of the world. But he doesn't stop her. She hands them to you along with all the material components. So you're pretty well stocked for an adventure. And
Good.
They kind of hug each other and sort of like parents seeing their kid off to college for the first time.
That's basically what this is.
Pretty much. And they say, "Where will you go?"
I'm going to head north to Crescere.
Be careful up there, Cress. You should take someone with you.
I think I'm going to talk to some of my old friends. I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to one of these stone prisons alone.
Okay. Be safe, and they all the normal write to us and blah blah blah. They're tentatively excited. They're super super excited that you're alive, but they totally accept that you are on a mission to find Nit from Ludum and support you wholeheartedly. What do you want to do next?
So I'm going to try and find a grill because she went to the city all the time. So
Okay. Great. So she's at her farm. You walk. It's on the outskirts of town. You walk, and by outskirts I mean just in the farms that surround the many farms that surround Guln. You walk out to the farmhouse, and as you walk up, there's a woman out in the fields spreading seeds from a big bag, and she looks up, sees you, and
I do like a wave of my staff, like a hey.
She sees the staff, and once she sees the staff, she drops her bag of seeds and just comes running towards you. And she like sort of jumps in your arms and gives you a hug, and is very excited to see you.
Hey, Agril. Hey.
She pulls away and starts slapping you and says,
"Oh shit!
Pin and I were worried sick. Where have you been? It's been 10 years. Damn it!
I was where I usually am.
Why have you come back so suddenly?"
Agril, I can't explain everything, but I think I have a chance at finding Nittere.
She stops. totally dead in her. Holy crap. She rolled a 20 on an insight to that. So she believes the shit out of you.
On my eyes, I look like a sad puppy. Like, she knows that this is a real chance.
So she totally trusts you, and she's like, what can I do to help? Just immediately, just like, totally accepts that this is a thing that's totally real.
Do you have time for a trip to the city?
Arcs? You want me to take you to Arcs?
Yes.
Let's go right now. And she just super excited to be like on an adventure to find it and going to like her favorite place in the world.
Shouldn't we say bye to Pin? I assume he's somewhere around.
She takes you back towards the farmhouse and gathering supplies and whatnot for herself, and Pin is actually sitting there strumming his lute on a bale of hay. He's a what does he play?
He used to play the flute, but I mean he's like a virtuoso, so he plays everything. Yeah.
Okay. A Renaissance man. No, that's not that.
He's
strumming a lute and just playing music. He lifts his hat, as it's sort of lazily draped across his face as you walk up. Throws out his hand and gives you a shake and pulls you in for like a bro hug.
It's a bro hug, yeah.
But it's like an elf bro hug, so
exactly.
It's super, super elegant.
Yeah.
And he says, he pauses and sniffs the air and says, "You smell like shit!" and claps you on the shoulder heartily. Where the hell have you been?
I've been in the jungle. Sometimes when you smell like this, the animals leave you alone.
What are you doing back here? Do you want to re-explain it, or do you want to just tell him all the same stuff you told a girl?
Basically, yeah. I don't have time to explain, but I got to go to the city.
And he looks over at a grill, and her natural 20 just totally convinces him. He trusts her, and he's like, "Well, it's great to see you, friend. I hope you travel safely on this important mission or what have you. I'm sure it's super important if you're back from the jungle to see all of us." And with that, he sits back down and continues strumming his lute. And a grill kind of like pushes his feet off of like the fence that he's sitting on, and he gets up and starts helping pack things for her.
I see. I do.
Yeah.
Pin, I have a favor to ask.
What do you need?
My parents, they're getting kind of old, and I don't know how long I'm going to be gone. So if it's time for them to echo, I'm going to need you to take care of them.
He doesn't say anything. He just does that sort of small nod, like just choking back, like just a huge amount of emotion, like because he never had parents growing up, so this is something that he's super honored by, and that he's gonna do a really great job taking care of. Do you want to explain the tradition of echoing just a little bit?
So if you follow Threshold, you know about shadows and all of that, but the Terra Totem don't really deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, elves have been dying since the fall, so they needed something. So parents just kind of go back either to their kids or to the village if they don't have kids or whatever, and they get taken care of. Elders get taken care of, and it's called echoing. Whatever you're doing, you just kind of go back and retire. It's basically retirement, but the whole village supports it, or your kids support it.
Okay, cool. Very small town feel. I like it.
Yeah. Terra Totem, they don't really deal with the big cities.
Yeah. So everything's packed up. Pin and a grill. They work. They do like a trading situation where he makes instruments and whatnot, and she grows various plants and whatnot, and they load up carts pretty frequently and take them to the nearby city, where she trades with all the merchants and whatnots in the big city. And she loads up a cart, clears a seat for you next to her, and kind of spurs the pack horse on to pull you guys towards Crescere. And as you are pulling away from the farmhouse with your lutes, flutes, and other instruments, along with a sacks of grain in the back, Pin reaches into a bag and tosses a pouch to a grill and says, "You know what that's for."
Okay. Do I do a check on this?
It's up to you.
Yeah. What do you want?
Perception. Let's go insight.
7.
You hear metal jingling inside.
Oh, insight's better, actually. Sorry, I thought insight was investigation. 12.
Oh, it should have been investigation. I totally said the wrong thing.
Then it's 7.
It doesn't matter. You just hear jingling inside.
Metal.
Did you want to?
Okay.
You can pursue that if you'd like.
I just give her an eyebrow. You know.
She says, "Don't worry about it. They won't be a problem."
Okay.
So you're on your cart, and
I have a question.
Okay.
Do a grill and Pin know about like my druid stuff, my magic, and
that's up to you.
I've been gone a while.
Yeah, but you've been a druid for a long time.
I would say they know. I mean, I'm the jungle guy. I've been there my whole life, and
just okay for metagame purposes. I would have said that for the past 40 years or so, you've been kind of just this level 1 druid who's been studying and doing arcane magics and whatnot. Not arcane, divine magics,
yeah.
And you. The night of last night, I guess, with the Moon Queen, when you stepped out into the Moonlight, Moon Queen, god damn, the Moon Goddess.
There we go.
Shout out to, is that Heroes of New Earth?
Moon Queen? I don't think it's anything. I think it was just a player.
Okay. And you're suddenly, now you're a level 3 druid, so they maybe don't know how powerful you are, but they know that you have some sort of magics with you.
Okay, so when we get in the cart, I kind of look at the horse and like the cart and everything, and I kind of give her a look of like, okay, we can travel this way.
Oh, you don't have to sit in the cart with her, but there's no way that she can transport all of the goods without a pack animal.
And then in that case, then I just tell her I don't want to ride in the cart.
Okay.
And I'm gonna turn into. Let me check some speeds. I think I'm gonna turn into a wolf and just run.
Oh, okay. You're going to use your wild shape, is it, or beast form?
It's wild shape, but it's...
Wild shape? Okay.
I think it used to be called beast form and earlier for...
Okay.
I only have dire wolf, but that's fine.
Okay.
No.
Do you need stats for that?
I'm turning into a horse.
Okay.
Horses are faster, so I turn into a horse.
That's going to burn one of those slots. Okay.
I know, but...
All right.
I'm hoping we don't fight too much on our way there. We'll see.
Okay. So
he's not riding in a cart. He can become a horse. And so all my stuff on my backpacks is just packed on top of the horse in this case.
Okay. It looks
cool with
it
you?
looks as though there's a second pack animal carrying other personal effects and whatnot,
Okay.
walking alongside. So you are on the road towards Crescere, and there is as you're going down, there's a bend, and as you come around the bend, there's a tree downed in the middle of the path. What do?
There's a tree downed, so we can't get the cart over it, right?
It's not a huge tree, but it's definitely blocking the passage of the horse and the cart wheels.
Okay.
You could probably move it yourself if you chose to.
As a horse, though? I gotta come out of horse form, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll do that.
Or you could she could tie it to you, and you could use your horse strength to pull it out of the way.
Ooh, I like that. Let's do that.
Okay, so you walk up to the you can't speak as a horse, can you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you walk up, you trot up to the
I give her a horse eyebrow.
She hops down, grabs some rope. Roll a perception check.
Perception? 16.
She looks nervous as she hops down from the cart, grabbing the rope.
Okay.
And she walks forward towards the tree. Nothing? She's just going to tie it up, attach it to you, And
yeah, I'm gonna let her walk into whatever she's walking into. I'm a horse.
Okay, so as you start pulling the tree out of the way, roll a strength contest for me.
Okay, I'm a war horse to be most specific with this.
Okay, I don't have any stats for any of that stuff because I'm
okay. So
bad
my
at
strength,
my job.
my strength's 18. Just so you know.
Okay,
so my
cool.
strength check is rolled 3, so it's a 7.
You strain and you pull and nothing. It doesn't budge. And as you do so, 3 bandits wander out from in the woods and walk up to a grill and say, "You're looking mighty lonely out here, little lady."
And I give him like a, and then I like, am I rolling initiative?
No, not yet. You can. Do you want to attack them?
Yeah, I'm gonna charge him. I'm
Done.
a horse charging him.
Okay, that'll be a surprise round. They're totally not expecting this horse to be a thing.
Okay.
So roll initiative. A grill. She's not combat effective, so she's gonna go and hide behind the cart during this whole encounter.
Okay.
Oh.
What?
They rolled well.
I'm looking at. Do I maintain dex in wild form or wild
no,
shape?
No, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
17 then for my horse initiative.
Okay, so first in the order is
Don't I go first?
With
surprise?
your surprise round.
Okay. Do I have 20 feet of clearance to come at these guys? Like I'm saying
we'll
in a straight line.
Yeah, we'll say that you've got 20 feet.
Okay, so make a save against 14 DC for me to try and trample them.
18.
Okay, so I don't trample them, but I ran up to it, and I'm going to attack with my hooves for 23.
Hit.
Okay, wow, horses do a lot of damage. Okay, so that's... Oh, man, did I roll bad. 6. 6 bludgeoning.
Okay, so you rear back, and do you want to describe what happens as you spatter this first...
I give him an old 1-2 punch with my hooves, the rear back, and then punch him with my hooves. I have 19 horse HP, by the way.
Okay. As you collide, as your hoofs collide with his stomach and face, the second one knocks a whole bunch of teeth loose, and he spits out blood onto the floor, and the first one is bloodied. He doesn't like that at all, so he's going to pull out a scimitar, and he's going to swing at you.
My AC is only 11 as a horse.
Okay. He reaches back with his scimitar, spits out a whole bunch of more teeth and blood, and he is going to try to cut across your big horse throat, and you kind of duck under the blade pretty effortlessly, and this guy's kind of wobbly and woozy, and next in the order is you.
Oh, because of the surprise attack.
That's
cool.
right. I think I'm doing that right. I hope so. We're doing it that way for now. You're one man, so who cares? You got to be a little overpowered, I think.
Okay, how many are around me? Like, if I tried to loop around, am I gonna take 3 opportunities of attack?
No. Let's say they're kind of grouped loosely. You could get away from from 2 of them freely.
I'm gonna loop around basically. I'm gonna use my horse speed to try and trample him again. So I'm gonna take it. If he wants, he can do an attack of opportunity as I leave his square to come back at him.
Okay. And what is your AC?
My AC is 11.
Okay, so he actually is going to hit on that opportunity attack. He raises his short sword, and as you gallop away, he kind of thrusts it forward and stabs it into one of your hind legs for 4 slashing damage.
Okay. But then he's got to make a save against 14 again to see if I knock him prone.
He is knocked prone. What kind of save is that?
Strength.
Yeah, he's knocked prone.
Okay, so he is prone.
The bloodied one, just to clarify.
That was all movement, right? That wasn't an action?
I don't know.
That's all. I believe that doesn't count as my action. So now
is
that
it
he's
under
prone,
actions?
I don't know. It's the thing under Warhorse.
So
So
if
I just
you
move
get to
toward
attack
him.
twice. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I'm rolling high
Checking
too.
the rules in the middle of the show. Yeah.
It's confusing with the like 6
There's
different
10
characters.
different animals you have to learn. Now you know how I feel as a DM.
The first hoof attack's gonna be 12, so I think he's already dead.
12 hits.
No, I didn't even roll to hit. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, you got to do that.
Okay, it's a pretty high roll to hit. 18 plus 4, 22.
Hits.
Okay, so I do 12 damage.
Okay.
If you let me keep the damage rolls from earlier.
You know what? I shouldn't, but I will. So he's dead. You want to
He's
describe?
dead, so I don't even have to take my bonus action then.
You can't reach. Well, how far did you travel? 40 feet total?
Yeah.
20 out and back?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're
But I can only take the bonus action against Prone Man, who I just stomped into the ground.
Oh, okay. So he's dead as shit. Next,
it's a melee attack. Can I say that I just knock him out cold? And not...
Oh, you want to do non-lethal?
Yeah, I mean I'm traveling with aggro. I don't really want to just bloody bandits or not. I don't want to mash them into pulp in front of her.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to hit him hard, knock him out for solid amount of time. Maybe concuss him, break some ribs, but not pulp him.
He's learned his lesson. When he comes to, he's not going to live a life of horse attacking.
That's right. This horse is mad.
Next in the order is one of his bandit buddies. He's going to run up and try to attack you with his scimitar.
Okay. AC's 11.
Okay, so that hits. He's going to charge at you, raise his scimitar above his head as he runs forward, and he's just going to bury it in the big horseback for 5 slashing damage.
Okay.
So that's his turn.
Is there another bandit?
Oh yeah. Next in the order is the third bandit. He's gonna run forward and he's gonna do the same. He raises his scimitar, kind of pulls his elbow straight back. He's gonna go in for like a slashing motion, not swinging it wildly. And as he runs forward, he kind of trips a little bit and swings it, and it just misses, goes underneath your body. And that takes us back to you.
Okay, so I'm right next to them?
Yeah, they're both within 5 feet.
Okay, so since they're both next to me, I'm going to get out of horse form.
Okay.
As a bonus action, because I'm Circle the Moon Druid.
Okay.
People are wondering about stats and stuff.
Sure. We'll have a character sheet.
So now I'm there. I'm standing there. All my stuff's on me again. So I reach in my pack. I pull out a mushroom. I flick it up like a coin and blow on it to poison spray. Do these bandits have numbers? The first guy who actually hit me, since he actually hit me with his sword, I'm going to poison him. He has to make a con save against my spell DC of 13.
He fails.
Okay, so that is 1d12, and I rolled a 12. 12 poison damage to him.
So that's lethal, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, he's...
So, as the cloud of poison wafts towards his face, he inhales deeply at just the wrong time, takes in just a huge amount of poison, and he grasps at his throat as his skin turns like a sickly pale green. He drops his scimitar. Blood begins pouring from his nose, and he collapses to the ground and spits up blood, dead.
I usually don't play spellcaster, so this is badass.
And then, is that your full... That's a bonus. You have movement left. Did you want to do anything?
I'm right next to the guy, right?
Yeah.
So, no. I'm just going to look at him.
Okay. So the last bandit is going to... He's gonna swing his scimitar at you. He kind of pulls it back and tries to swing it across, and as he does so, he catches a glimpse of his friend, who's just this twisted crumple of poisoned, bloody mess, dead on the ground, and he drops his sword as he brings it across and doesn't do any damage. And that's back to you then.
So Cress turns and looks at this frightened man, not frightened, as far
not
as...
a condition, but...
Not a condition frightened.
He is totally scared.
But he is scared. And he is going to pull out the bone daggers he carries on his belt in both his hands.
Okay.
And try to stab him in each of this man's shoulders.
Okay, cool.
So we have a 25 to hit. And actually, that was a 23. I did that wrong.
I was going to say 25. That means you rolled a nat 20.
23 to hit and a 19 to hit.
Both are going to hit. Roll damage and describe it.
Okay. First damage is 7, and the second damage is 2. So with my right hand, he's right-handed, I just plunge it right by his clavicle, and then the other one, I'm left-handed, so I try to plunge it in, but I just kind of scratch his shoulder with it, leaving a cut, but not like, my dagger's not in him like the other one.
He reaches up towards the dagger, and he grabs the blade, crying out in pain, and he pulls it from his shoulder, and blood starts gushing out of that wound. He's pretty badly bloodied at this point. He's going to run away, I think, incurring an attack of opportunity.
Okay, so I'm going to take my dagger, and I'm going to try and throw it at him.
You can do this before he actually gets anywhere, so he's still within melee range.
So I'm not going to throw it at him then. I'm just going to try to...
yeah, the attacks of opportunity are an immediate interrupt on his movement.
So, still attacking with 2 daggers. The first one's definitely going to miss. I assume it's an 8.
Miss.
And then the second one is a 13.
Hit.
So the second one is I'm gonna sort of follow. The first one was my right hand, so this is actually my left hand, and only gonna hit for 1.
Okay. As he runs away, your dagger cleaves into one of his calves. Not going in super deep. He cries out, and then he's going to whip out his crossbow and fire a shot straight at you.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, I have an AC of 15. I have studded leather, but it's studded with bones.
Yeah. Druids are against metal. I didn't know that. That's a cool feature.
My guy doesn't like metal or stone or any of that.
So he readies his crossbow, heaves it up to his shoulder. As he brings the stock against it, he winces in terrible pain as the weapon hits his heavily injured arm, and the shot crashes straight into the jungle, to the road, the dirt road, and just skitters off harmlessly. And now it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Produce Flame, which just makes I'm going to say a green fireball because I like the color green.
Cool.
So there's just a green fireball in my hand right now, and I'm going to chuck it at him.
Okay.
So it's a spell attack. 9.
Miss.
And so it's just going to kind of land in the dirt and puff out.
Okay. He kind of jumps at the explosion of fire next to him, and he is going to fire another crossbow shot in your direction as he takes a couple more steps back. He's now probably about 60 feet away from you.
Okay.
This as he's running away, scared, this cross bolt just flies wildly over your head. You can hear rustling in the trees next to the road as some birds take flight from the errant shot, and that's back to your turn.
Okay, so he's 60 feet away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sprint not sprint, I'm not using the dash. I'm going to run 35 feet while getting that fireball ready in my hand again. You hear me whisper some elvish words, and then gonna chuck it at him again, this time with a 16 to hit.
Hit.
Okay, so that
kills him. Do you want to just roll damage and describe what happens?
Yes, if I can find the right die. There it is. I had them all nice and organized, and now we're fighting, so. 7 damage.
Yeah.
So I aim for his legs, thinking I might not kill him, but instead he just engulfs him, and he just starts burning in green fire, and then just smells terrible.
As he collapses to the ground, and his body's consumed by your magical flame. They are all dead, and you're out of initiative.
And so I run back to the cart and make sure. Sorry. And then I drop my dice everywhere, and a girl's
some
like,
components go flying, and the girl comes over and starts helping you pick things up and says, "Are you okay? Are you okay? I was too scared to fight."
You don't need to fight. And I kind of just look at the cart, make sure everything's okay, and I say, "Does this happen often with these? They lay these traps?"
They've been doing this for the past 2 months, taking more and more each time. That was what the gold was for. And she gestures to the sack that Pin tossed her.
Oh, it's for a bribe.
Mm-hmm.
I see. I horsed them dead before
they really did. They were just like, give us some money. You're like, nope. How about some death?
I'm a herb. I've been in the jungle. When something attacks, you act.
Instinct. I love it.
Man, it was cool though to charge him as a horse.
That was. They were totally not expecting it. That was badass.
So we're sitting here, and I say, "I see. Well, keep the gold." And then I'm thinking about. You think I could set the tree on fire? Or that just make it harder for us to go around it? You
guys would probably be able to move it out of the way with the cart horse and the two of you pulling pretty easily. You wouldn't have to roll for that.
Okay.
I was gonna let you maybe just run away from the bandits if you had moved it, but this is, if you have time, you don't have to worry about checks or anything. You just pull it out of the way effortlessly with the three of you.
Okay. And so then we just continue on towards the city. I stay in human form, riding in the cart now, a little uncomfortable.
Did you want to take a short rest after that battle, or are you just moving straight on?
Yeah, I mean, we can take a short rest. And did I?
I
actually didn't get hurt at all. Because
you took some. Oh, the horse took damage.
Only the horse. And those are extra HPs.
Yep. So you're totally good. You just burnt 1 use of wild shape.
Which comes back now because I rested?
Yeah, you took a short rest, so that's back.
Okay, so we're heading towards the city, and I do not... Oh, I didn't use any super spells, so we are just ready to go.
So, as you come around another bend in the road, a massive citadel fills your view. 4 giant concentric circles rise from the front towards the back of this city, stacked one atop the other like some colossal stone, brick, and wood layer cake. The city has to be more than 4 or 5 miles across, you estimate, from the road, and there's huge walls encircling the entirety of each level. Large stone turrets flank either side of the 16 enormous gates. There's 3, I guess... there's 3 or 4 on each circle, so that each level could be closed off to the ones below. Perched atop each of these turrets is a small squad of archers, 3 or 4 archers and a captain. The walls and the gates are very well cared for, and as you walk forward towards this monument, you kind of you find it a little bit ironic, judging it based on all of the decaying ruins that kind of surround the jungles in the immediate area. Down the middle of this city, there's a channel, like an aqueduct almost, that's lower to the ground, on an angle running from the top to the bottom from a source pool. Each of the levels is packed with shops and inns and homes, and buildings seem to have been constructed kind of rapidly without regard for any sort of order. It sort of seems like panic was a motivating factor in the layout of the city, except for the top level. It's free from all of this chaos.
So when you say levels, so the city ascends as you go in towards the northeast, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so you're entering from the southwest, and there's a massive aqueduct just with rushing water flowing straight down the center of that entrance. On either side, there's a gate with turrets, and you see four of these gates with the turrets on them, one on each of the levels. Each of these can be closed and shut so that, if the city were invaded or something, there'd be 4 layers of defense for the school at the top.
Okay.
The school at the top, there are 7 large flagstone buildings. They're about 30 feet tall each. They fill this main courtyard up there, and at the far side of the village from where you are, there's a keep, and it stretches across nearly a quarter of the ring, the outermost ring. And there's an imposing dome made of stone and glass in the center. As you pass through the gates, you're met with no resistance, but you can feel the eyes of 3 or 4 archers on you as you walk by.
And I haven't cleaned myself up, so I still
okay.
I
still
look
nasty?
I still look like a homeless person, but more like a combination of homeless person and just pile of leaves.
Okay. So as you walk through the main gate, a grill turns to you and says, "I think it would be a good time to find an inn for us to stay, so that you can get cleaned up and we can rest a bit."
And
it's
I
still
sniff.
pretty. Okay.
I sniff and I smell all the fireplaces and the forges and stuff, and I just kind of mutter like, "Stone prisons."
The journey kind of took most of the day. It's still light out, but night is coming, and she definitely wants to find a place, an inn, for you to stay.
Okay.
You have a map of this city that I drew. It's in the OneDrive. Can you open that up?
I've got my handout open. I'm ready.
I'm so not ready. I didn't even. So inside, you walk in from that southwest entrance, and we'll put this all up on the post for the show. Do you want to go left or right? She's suggesting that you find an inn pretty quickly, and most of those places are going to be in that first.
So we're in
layer.
the first quadrant, or?
Yeah, the largest circle.
Okay, we'll go left, and I just say, find one with a stable.
Okay. She draws her cart through the streets, and she looks a little bit uncomfortable with the area that you're in. She leads you down a side street, moving to the northeast, further away from the area immediately against the wall on the southwest side, which looks a little bit shady just from where you stand. And she pulls you into a courtyard and parks her horse in a stable and walks into the inn, which I totally didn't name. Let's call it the
Tired Mule. I like it.
Great, the Tired Mule. That's the sign above the entranceway is a horse, a small mule laying in some hay, made out of carved out of wood. You walk in the front door, and this squat elf, who's a little bit chubby but home, nice, welcoming, and he says, "Looking for lodging for the night?"
I say 1 room, and then Agro looks at me like. And I
2
say,
beds.
I just say it won't be necessary. 2 stables.
He says, that's going to be 1 gold piece. And a grill reaches into her pouch that Pin gave her and pulls out a gold coin and hands it to him. He leads the 2 of you. He starts to lead the 2 of you upstairs. Do you go with, or do you just stay where you are?
I'll go with. I can go in the room. I just don't want to sleep there.
Okay, so he leads you upstairs, opens the room, and lets you inside, and then goes back to prepare the stables. He says, "You'll be in stables 4 and 5 downstairs. Would you like me to lead your horse in there when they're ready?"
I'll handle it.
Okay. He turns and walks away and leaves you 2. I think that's going to be a good place to stop for this episode.
Okay.
Did you want to clean up or anything and take a long rest, so that we can start fresh?
It depends on whether Aggro really wants me to clean up. I'm gonna say Crest doesn't want to clean up, but he doesn't really. He's not the city guy, so if she thinks it'll be a good idea, he'll begrudgingly let her shave him and clean up his face a little bit so he doesn't look so.
She's not
so
saying
out of place.
She's not saying anything to you at this point. You haven't interacted with anyone.
Okay.
She may later on mention that it's a bit out of place, but for now, you just gonna take your long rest out in the stable, I assume.
Yeah, I'm gonna say goodnight to her, drop off my packs and stuff, except for my really core stuff, my
Sure.
really important stuff, and my staff. They come out with me to the stable. I'm assuming the innkeeper thinks it's kind of weird I never resurface, but whatever. I just sleep next to my horse in the hay, and I'm probably going to do that as often as possible. I don't really see him ever sleeping in a bed.
Okay.
He's been
Makes
out
sense.
in the jungle for 46 years.
Right.
So.
Well, great. That means next time we start up, you'll have taken your long rest, which doesn't really give you any benefit, but it'll be bright and early, and as the sun sets over Crescere, you feel uncomfortable among this barrier to nature.
Yeah. So, it was a good one.
Yeah? How'd you feel about your first encounter?
I liked it. I got to use a lot of my stuff. I mean, I didn't bust out any of the really cool stuff yet, the higher level spells or the higher level forms.
Sure.
But I still was able to use a variety of stuff and not just, stab them with a sword every single turn, which is where I think combat gets boring.
Which is what they had to do.
Well, the one guy tried to run.
He did, because you had super, super hurt him. I thought you were going to kill him as he ran away. He only had 2 HP.
I know, and I missed the right-hand dagger. And
it would have killed him if you had hit him with the right-hand dagger.
I rolled a 3 or something, really. It was like a 2, even with the bonus.
Yeah, they were only CR 1/8, but I kind of wanted to get combat rolling, because I'm not really sure how to gauge your power, whether or not you're going to be able to handle CR 3s by yourself.
We'll see.
We'll test it out.
So,
I've got a couple more curveballs to throw at you here in the city.
Okay. So
you have any questions?
I was gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
Let me think. Any questions? I'm just thinking of different comments and stuff about the playtime. No, I think we're good.
All right. Then we'll join Crest back next time in Crescere.
Yeah. So this has been Threshold Moonlight. Of course, it's set in the universe of Threshold. The wonderful guys at D6 Mafia put that on, so check them out. There'll be links.
D6Mafia.com, youtube.com/the D6Mafia. Go there, check them out. Their stuff is awesome, and they're super friendly and welcoming.
Yeah, we've loved interacting with them, and so our podcast comes out every Thursday, sometime around morning, noonish. So
yeah, whenever Tom gets around to it.
And it's available on iTunes, always on our site. On
should
Stitcher,
be on Stitcher soon. Is it on there now?
Not yet, but by the time this comes
out,
I assume it will be.
We're not robots, so they should accept us.
So that's just Threshold Moonlight by Studio LT3, and You can download everything from our site. There's going to be links to all the wiki stuff and handouts and D6 Mafia stuff and all that great stuff in the post. So hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
Check it out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.